Hello, hello, True Nature Medicine Tribe. It is Sarah Jane with your daily body mind vitamin, your dose for the day. And there's a big storm brewing outside my window, so I'm never going to promise to make these quick because I never know what's going to come out of my mouth. But I just kind of wanted to tap into the energies today, and if you are anything like the sensitive, empathic, caring kind people that I know you are within this tribe, you've probably been feeling as tender and raw as I have over the last couple of the days. I've kind of had this lurking headache, which I know is not mine, but we're part of everything. So I guess in a way there is some ownership there. And I've kind of felt it. It feels like I fell off a horse, and it's been building over the last couple of weeks. And just a full range of emotions, like so many of my clients, that there's this sort of pendulation between incredible bouts of grief and then incredible bouts of elation and joy, and then everything in between. So, you know, if you've been feeling a deep sense of body ache, a tiredness, a headache, maybe your body is also asking you to just unhook from all the external chaos and the noise in light of the election results that Donald Trump is in. I'm find it quite amusing because we've gone through our own sort of process of insanity with our government in South Africa, and being ex-Zimbabwean, what's happened with Mugabe, and you know what, we're still here, we're still breathing, but maybe your body's just asking you to slow down as well. Hello, beautiful Jody. So here are a couple of insights that I've sort of had that might connect some of the patterns and the dots for you, so that you can stop pushing and punishing and making yourself wrong, or going down this sort of slippery slope of mass hysteria and mass freak out and fear that's kind of going on. And also remembering, I don't know if you saw the moon last night, but the moon is massive right now, and it's the closest it's been to the earth for, I think, almost 70 years. And you know, if you're feeling a rise of emotion, just know this is totally normal, and it comes with agitation and a restlessness, and there is no normal. So, you know, just where can you sort of tap in and ride the wave? Are you on the outside or the peripheral of the storm, or are you in the eye of the storm? And I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago about, you know, being the storm before the calm, and this has been building, and I think a lot of us have been plugged into that and really feeling it. So, you know, where can you find safety? Where can you find inner sanctuary right now, and just sort of turn inward, and just slow yourself down, because it isn't really about winning or losing, whether that's an election or whatever it is that you're creating right now. There's always going to be a state of chaos. It's part of the natural order, and how nature corrects and balances herself. And God's not playing dice. You know, this isn't sort of a random affair. There is a perfection in the timing. There's a immaculate design that's been written long before you and I ever walked this planet. And the more that we can tap in and track our emotions right now, I think the easier, and I'm not saying that it's all ease and grace, but the less you're going to perpetuate the pain and the suffering. And I think that's where, you know, the stars are such a great gift. I use spiritual astrology a lot in my work, along with Enneagram and other things. That, you know, this is a really extreme state that we're in the moment. You know, this is history again in the making. Oh, hello, Carl. Nice to see you here. So, you know, you have to be willing to track your emotions. You have to be willing to get honest and truthful with yourself, and go into the shadows and let your human side have its full range of expression. You know, we're human, having embodied experience. There's no getting away from that for as long as you choose to live. And you can get out of the victimology, you can get out of the story. And I say this to clients that work with me on their businesses, is stop looking at what everybody else is doing. Stop going outside of yourself, and distracting yourself from being present in what you can create right now. Hi, Neil. Nice to see you. Give me some hearts, give me some love. Tell me if this is resonating, or if I should just shush. and be quiet right now. You know, we're being challenged right now to find balance in our own way of creating harmony and resonance and alignment with what we're here to do, what our purpose is. And you know, I think we have to tap into that inner wisdom, to listen. That's it. Yeah, give me some energy. I'm really needing some energy today. I think we're all just asking, you know, how can we contribute to creating a greater reality than the one that's currently going on? And I think the way through that is we have to feel in order to heal. I say that all the time, but it's true. You know, we're being challenged all the time to find that deep state of resistance within ourselves and keep our hearts open all the way through it. And my medicine for these times is really asking for guidance, asking for support from my team players, from my community, from the planet itself, from the earth, from the animals, to just focus on what part I can play for the highest, greatest good of all. You've got the love. Ah, thank you, Jody. Yeah. You know, so I don't know about you, but we don't really have control over what's going on here. All we have is the choice to choose to stop fighting, to stop going into the anti and the unconsciousness, and really start to tap into where we can find more kindness in our own bodies. And I don't know, when we can give generously because there's more to give, then we unhook already from this sort of fear-induced zombified state of that there's something to be afraid of. And that's when we do our best work. You know, those are the growing pains. And life isn't all just a business deal. You know, I show up on these because I think I find my own sense of healing in community, in being able to voice this outward. And if I'm going to make these alliterations and these communications for me, and I can share it in some way that's going to give you a piece that you're looking for or you've been asking for, then I'm going to keep doing them. You know, and I don't want you to feel obligated to give back to me for any reason. You know, I'm not a big fan of favors, and I actually intensely dislike that whole concept of obligation. I much prefer to just love into the fact that why not give it? Why not connect? Why not communicate with each other? And that's where that whole part of loving whatever arises takes us out of the judgment and the attachments. And I mean, I still have a lot of attachments. Of course I do. You know, I'm on this great big messy adventure with all of you. But I think gratitude is really that form of consciousness and acknowledgement right now that we can actually give more and receive more. And it's not hard to do, you know. Expectations, projections, it's all hooked up in this big conundrum. Oh, can you hear the thunder and the wind? Nature is speaking. And that's another thing, you know, the dust never really settles for that long. And I just believe that you either lead into living your legacy with presence and kindness and honoring and allowance and all those 5 cornerstones I always talk about. Hi, Violet. But giving is such a valuable part, you know, where you can just keep giving generously because you can. Or you can keep following, you know, the blind leading the blind. I don't know if you can see my 3 little statues one of my clients gave me there, but it's the classic hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. That's the shadow stuff. And we can keep following and going down this big, deep rabbit hole of being influenced by mass collective hysteria and unconsciousness about uncertainty and wanting to be told that everything's going to be all right, or we get to choose to lead our own lives from a place of knowing that we get to right. We get to right the wrong beyond the right and wrong, right? There's a lot of duality in this, but things are going to get even more intense. It's the time. It's the time for us to rise up and actually use our gifts and speak our truths to be the change we want to see. And that's nothing new. I know that you will get that, but it doesn't have to affect you, what's going on outside in the peripheral, or those that you love, if you keep coming from acting, not reacting. And that's, you know, that's a really invaluable skill and something that I go into a lot in my private work and in my programs and even these conversations. And I'm inviting you to go in there too, because, you know, we're in a shitstorm. Let's face it. The dust settles for a while, and then something else comes up, and it's all distractions. It's all taking us out of being present to see what can I change in this moment, and seeing beyond what you think it is. You know, it never shows up the way that we want, never looks how we want it to look. And we have to be willing to get out of the conclusionary reality and get out of the fear and reset your nervous system and unhook from that by actually getting to the root cause of your woundings, doing the shadow work. And I teach that a lot in my training. So, you know, it reminds me last night, and Jody, you were there, you know, in the Freedom 5, The Art of Stressless Living, where I'm really using Chinese medicine and the ancient wisdom of Chinese medicine and the feeding cycle of fire, earth, metal, water, wood, that we are part of the elementals, we're part of nature. And we were talking about it because we're in the time of pericardium. It's when the pericardium is at its peak as far as organs, endocrines, and body parts within the traditional Chinese medicine feeding cycle. And the chaos theory of all of that is, again, it's about moving into flow through intentional creativity. And it's a fire element right now, you know. It speaks a lot to our heart. Where are your heartstrings being pulled? You know, where is your heart being broken into tiny million pieces? Where are you disconnected from your heart? Where can you open your heart, even though you have stories that are keeping you back from protecting yourself? Pericardium protects. The pericardial sac is there to protect the heart for a reason. So, you know, looking at who do you let in to your life? What thoughts are you letting in? It's about internal housekeeping. It's about introspection right now. And, you know, it's no coincidence that the upcoming supermoon is in the sign of Taurus. You know, think about the bull. I always talk about, because I love animal medicine and the shamanic spiral path of bringing in animals to support us and give us what we need. And I always say, look at the physical attributes of the bull. You know, snorting, and it's ready, and it's about to charge. It's very intentional. It doesn't just charge around at nothing. And it's interesting because Taurus right now is opposing the sun in Scorpio. And that sextile Chiron, the wounded healer energy is in retrograde. So everything's been turned on its head in looking outside to looking at how can we heal, how can we change, how can we get out of these old patterns of destruction and decay and death, and then looking at it from a place of the natural cycle that the old systems have to die. The old systems have to fall away in order for us to burn things up in the fire so it can return to the ashes to fertilize and nourish the earth. So where can you look to tending your garden right now? Where can you actually start to fertilize? With the wisdom, with the introspection, with the insights of what you've come through. This has been a bumpy year. It's a 9 energy for a reason. It's about death. Certain things have to die, and it's been painful in so many ways. But the growing pains are temporary. It's not there forever. Okay? And we can't be vested in the outcome of things and how things are showing up, because that's where we start to eat ourselves up from the inside and actually destroy our bodies and destroy our own authentic truth and we can't hear what our heart has to say there. So, you know, this is such a beautiful time, and I'm smiling in the duality and of the old ways falling away. And that, you know, when I woke up this morning and I was like, oh yeah, I wonder who won the election. It doesn't have to affect anything other than to know that if we're not willing to look into the shadows, if we're not willing to do our own internal housekeeping, then the universe is going to bring it to us in the external. Remember the microcosm of the macrocosm? We're connected into everything. And if we're not willing to go into our own places where we're afraid, it's going to come at us in the physical form. And, you know, like I said, I've been asking for more consciousness in the South African government for a long, long time. And I've just been asking today, you know, wow, that is so interesting from the place of the witness, of the observer, but also being willing to play my part, whatever it looks like, in creating a kinder world and a new reality and a new fiduciary system. The old ways have been breaking away forever, and we've seen that with the fall of the banks and the Brexits, and it's been coming for a long, long time. So what contribution can I be for the planet? And I see the lightning coming in, and I'm on bedrock, so if I get hit and disappear, you know that the universe has spoken and I'm done. But you know, what contribution can we all be for the planet right now? And how can we start having real conversations about things that we haven't been willing to talk about, or we've been afraid of talking about? And thinking of the feminine, you know, I know a lot of people wanted Hillary Clinton to win this election because she was a woman. And there's a lot tied up in the feminine woundings, in the story of how we have been persecuted for our gifts and our medicine before. But, you know, it doesn't have to be an either or reality. It doesn't mean that she can't go on to do greater things because she's not in the position of presidency. And, you know, my gut isn't entirely happy with what she says. Yeah, death by lightning. Oh, I have been struck by lightning before, Jody. I always joke, but it's like the absolute truth. I got struck by lightning in a swimming pool. Whoa! When I was, I felt that when I was 15 or 16, and my hair curled from that time, so I haven't always been this crazy, wild, electric eel. Obviously, that bolt was there to wake me up or shut something down, I don't know. But yeah, so you know, perhaps we have to swing into the insanity of the chaos and the crap to just see how broken the old systems are right now. Not just in America. I am inside. Doesn't, you know, it's like inside, outside. We're connected into this, and I'm totally trusting that for now I have this bubble so that I can deliver this message for today. But yeah, so, you know, what if, just as I always say, we're not broken, there's nothing to fix. What if this is the natural order of chaos that is required at this time to get us to actually wake up? Just like that lightning bolt did. Hi, Corleen. You know, who knows what chain of events this latest, the recent election is going to have on the world, and what it's going to set in motion. And I don't know, you know, what the fastest road to a more kind, aware, generative planet is going to be. But, you know, perhaps all this hate and fear is playing a huge role in divine order of chaos, of the chaos theory, of the natural balance of things have to get pretty hectic and insane before they can change. And, you know, maybe this is exactly the kind of intense, blatant, crazy energy that we need to start looking at things that we were refusing to look at before. And maybe this is what's gonna change the way that we create intentional action, intentional creativity, and start to wake up the collective. You know, and what would it create if we could just all contribute to that right now as the greatest future for all of us? So I am going to get off because it's looking pretty ominous outside, but let me leave it at this. You know, be kind. Could you just be kind to yourself? Could you just slow everything down? And don't let any kind of political agenda or any other agenda for that, whether it's office politics or family politics or political politics, it doesn't divide you, and it doesn't define how you get to create abundance in your life. You know, we're all human, and we're more alike than we are different. And until the systems collapse of its own weight and wickedness, big judgment there, you know, we don't need to keep living a divided life. We just have to keep living into the fact that we get to create on our own terms, and by standing in our own truth, and by connecting in with people that are walking the same path as you. You know, standing on the same rock as you, just like the people in Standing Rock are. And how buffalo medicine came in, and how the elementals are really supporting change right now. So just keep doing the best that you can, without letting all this insanity and this crazy crap out there pull you back down. You know, you can lift yourself up. You can raise your vibration, and in doing so, others are going to rise up. So just keep going. Keep tapping into, you know, what is required of you right now to be the vessel, the channel, the conduit for a new world, without having to know what that looks like. You know, don't forget how precious you are and how beautiful the world actually is. Hi, Nancy. Yeah, so what a miracle it is to be alive. You know, can we just celebrate that we woke up breathing today, and that there's a stillness underneath us, in the eye of the storm, in the calm before the storm, in the storm before the calm. My cats are all running in the windows, so I know the storm is coming. But what if we could just tap into the wild woman right now, go dance in the rain, go howl at the moon, and just celebrate for the sake of celebrating that you're giving because you can, and there's no hidden agenda. You know, I'm contributing my energy to whatever is required to create a new world that turns out better than all of us can ever imagine. Can you hear the thunder? It's amazing, you know. So what choice can we make right here today? And where can we go into that that's going to create more ease and more allowance and more love? You know, love whatever arises. So I'm going to give you, no agenda here, a guided visualization that I actually did for myself last night when I was kind of feeling a little out of sorts and a little achy all over, to really connect with my inner wise counsel, to help you and assist you and support you in going deep into the shadows right now, in introspection, to receive whatever it is that you need right now. And there's not even an opt-in or anything, okay? I'm so tired of people giving and wanting something back. You know, I'm giving this to you. If you'd like it, please take it. I'll load it up below this post. Just click it. Stop what you're doing. Slow down and just connect with the fire in your belly right now. Allow that Kundalini, that Shakti energy of how you're creating from source to come up your divine line and activate your intuitive knowing, to be multi-sensory and multi-seeing and all-knowing and all-being. And if you like it, I'd love to hear about it. If you don't like it, I'd love to hear about that too, but you're not obligated to say anything. So just know, if you're ready to rise strong and start envisioning your gifted, extraordinary life, and you live in Gauteng, I've had such an incredible response, and I'm so in deep appreciation of all these incredible wild women that are banding together. The tribe is really gathering. I've opened up another one-day envisioning process, another gifted on Saturday the 27th. Carlene, I know you're going to be coming to that, and I can't wait to meet you in person. And hi, Candace. And there's 6 spaces left, so it is the Immaculate 11, the power numbers that I'm keeping to. And let's tap in and let's use the energies of 1111. Funny, because I kind of felt that resonance today to 9/11 of unbelievable, you know, looking at what the shit just happened here with Trump winning and all the other craziness that's going on in the world right now. And I just kind of went into the grace and the gratitude of remembering looking at the Twin Towers coming down and going, wow, you know, what change is this going to bring? And it kind of felt very resonant to that energy of 9/11 today again. So we're going to be going deep in gifted, through circle, through creation, through paint, through words, activating the heart energy through holding the paintbrush and writing words, and really setting a plan open. So I encourage you, make a mantra for today. I might actually go into how I create mantra, in flipping the conclusion into an empowered place of being my own champion in moments where the world of crazy takes over. And my mantra today has really been to be open to new and creative possibilities of doing whatever is required to create a financial reality that's very much based in the feminine. So would you be willing to be open to creative possibilities of earning a great living so that you can get to contribute more back out into the world, and knowing that you're gifted and your gifts matter, and the lightning is getting closer. So I will take that as a sign that I'm done. But please don't forget how precious you are, how beautiful your world actually is. Whoa. Hello, God. God within. I love you guys. Post your comments and questions. Let me know what's been coming up and what your mantra is right now in the world. And if you are in South Africa, come and join us at Gifted on the 27th. It's the last Saturday of November. And let's create a brighter future, a kinder planet. And download the guided meditation, the imagery and the visualization of meeting your inner wise counsel, and let me know what's changing in your world. The rain is coming down. I'm going to go dance in the rain and use those beautiful forks of lightning as my stakes to really bring in this new energy, and I hope that you do the same. All right, guys, lots and lots and lots of love. Mwah. I love you.